I've had the Sapphire Preferred for almost 3 years now, and I've highlighted the problems with the Sapphire Preferred in a previous video or two, but in today's video, I want to show you why the Sapphire Preferred is a solid choice for a travel credit card, and I'll break down exactly how the Sapphire Preferred has saved me over $7,000 in travel over the last couple of years, all for the price of $95 per year in an annual fee. But don't worry, I'm not going to go over the reward categories or the benefits and perks that you can find more information about at my link in the description section. Instead, I'll include a few of my recent hotel redemptions and a flight redemption and give you the total cash price and cents per point for each of these travel redemptions. So this is what we'll cover in today's video. First, I'll briefly mention the limited time welcome offer that you all know about already, probably. Secondly, I'll go over my recent domestic flight redemption that cost me just over $11 out of pocket round trip. I'm very proud of that. Third, I'll share my recent redemption at a Category 1 Hyatt Regency hotel and show you all a tour of that room. Fourth, I'll share my other recent redemption at a Category 4 Thompson branded hotel and show you all a tour of that room as well. And finally, I'll share a bit about my redemption at a Category 6 Grand Hyatt hotel, but briefly because I already have a full dedicated video for this redemption on my channel. So we have a lot to unpack in this video. I just ask that if you do like this video to hit that like button if you find the information to be useful, and to subscribe to the channel if you like credit cards and travel redemption videos. Without further delay, let's get into the first topic. I always recommend going after a new credit card when there is an elevated welcome offer available if the minimum spend requirement fits within your budgeted expenses, which means that you aren't spending unnecessarily just to gain credit card points. With that said, the Sapphire Preferred has an elevated welcome offer that is currently at 75,000 ultimate reward points after spending $4,000 within the first 3 months of account opening. I have received word that this offer will be ending soon, so do check out my link in the comments and description section for more information. Using my links helps to support this channel so that I can continue to bring you content like this, and I just want to thank you all in advance if you do choose to use my links. Chase also has an in-branch offer of 85,000 ultimate reward points. However, this offer is split into 2 tiers. The first tier requires a minimum spend of $4,000 within the first 3 months to earn 75,000 ultimate reward points. And the second tier requires an additional $2,000 in spend to earn an additional 10,000 ultimate reward points. Although this will net you more points than the online offer, I 100% recommend doing the math to ensure that this provides you the most value. My argument would be for someone earlier on in the credit card game to go for the first offer and then use that additional $2,000 toward a more lucrative welcome offer for another credit card. If you are in your end game, then the in-branch offer may be the perfect one for you because you should try to get as many points as you can since your options are becoming much more limited for welcome offers. And just to further explain this, rather than spending $2,000 for an additional 10,000 ultimate reward points, I'd recommend getting the Freedom Flex or Freedom Unlimited, or both of them if you have the 524 slots available, because you can get 20,000 ultimate reward points on each of those cards for $500 of minimum spend. That's both more points and less spend than what's required to qualify for the additional 10,000 points on the Sapphire Preferred. Enough about that, let's get into the fun stuff and talk about travel redemptions that keep money in your pocket. When it comes to the travel game, the value that you receive through flight redemptions are extremely important. Now, admittedly, you get the most value through booking first and business class seats on international flights due to the 4 and sometimes 5-figure price tags that come with those tickets. However, I was able to obtain a decently good value through booking a domestic flight in economy. I kind of feel like these type of flight redemptions are underrated, so I really want to showcase this. Whenever I consider booking an economy flight using my ultimate reward points, I aim to get at least 1.25 cents per point in value because that's the minimum value that I'd receive when booking through the Chase travel portal. If I'm not able to obtain that value with transferring points out to a transfer partner, then it won't make sense because I lose value on my points. Toward the end of last year, I searched for a ticket to go to Washington, D.C. to meet up with Anthony Bencher, Kelby Ng, and Stan the Credit Frog. And unlike with my Vegas trip to the creators meetup last year, my goal was to spend as close to zero out of pocket as possible. So I had a decision to make to purchase my flight, either transfer over my membership reward points from American Express into the JetBlue's True Blue Point program, or transfer my Chase Ultimate Reward points. Now, the reason why I selected JetBlue is because it was the only airline offering a direct flight from my home airport that's literally 12 minutes away from where I live to Washington, D.C. Otherwise, I'd have to drive about 3 times the distance to the nearest airport, and since I like taking flights in the morning, I really wanted to avoid that South Florida rush hour traffic that seems to last 2 to 3 hours. Now, I really wanted to use my membership reward points toward this flight. However, I'd lose 20% value right out of the gate because the 250 membership reward points will get you just 200 True Blue points. So in order to purchase my ticket with points, I needed a total of 11,000 True Blue points, which meant that I needed to transfer over 13,750 membership reward points. And I also would have had to pay an excise tax fee of $8.25 to transfer those points. The total out-of-pocket cash price of my ticket was $227.79. To get the cents per point value, I'll subtract the taxes and fees for the airline ticket, which was $11.20, and also subtract the excise tax fee of $8.25, which leaves me with $208.34. Now let's divide the remaining cash price by the total membership reward points required for the purchase, and I would have received a 1.52 cents per point redemption value. This isn't a bad redemption value by any means for a domestic flight, since it beats the base level of 1.25 cents per point that can be obtained in the Chase Travel portal. However, I had to compare this with what I would be able to obtain with transferring my Chase Ultimate Reward points into the JetBlue program. At the time when I was searching for my flight, Chase actually was running a promotion which gave me a 25% transfer bonus when transferring my Ultimate Reward points into JetBlue's True Blue program. So that was already a plus for me, because instead of losing 20% value on my points like I just shared with my membership reward points, I'd be able to gain 25% in value, which made my Ultimate Reward points even more valuable. Also, Ultimate Reward points transfer into JetBlue's True Blue program at a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning no value is lost just for transferring those points. So again, I needed a total of 11,000 True Blue points, and that would cost me a total of 8,250 Ultimate Reward points. Now, I think I ought to clarify that this would have required me to transfer over 9,000 points, because the Ultimate Reward points must be transferred in increments of 1,000. But for the purposes of this video, I'll focus on the exact number of points required to book the flight. So again, the total price of the flight was $227.79, and we'll subtract the taxes and fees for the flight, which was $11.20. So that leaves us with a total of $216.59. When we divide the price of the remaining cash price by the amount of points required to purchase the flight, we get a cents per point value of 2.63 cents per point, which is just over a full cent more in value than if I selected to use my American Express membership reward points. So needless to say, I selected to use my Ultimate Reward points due to that pretty decent value that I was able to obtain. Okay, that's enough about the flight redemption, and I actually didn't plan to go into that much detail originally, but hey, so far I've shown you a total value of $216.59 in travel savings. And don't worry, it was an economy seat, so it wasn't anything special, but since I booked my flight with JetBlue, I had more than adequate room for my legs, and an upgrade to the even more space seats was not necessary. Anyway, enough about that. Let's move on to the hotel redemptions. During my trip to Washington, D.C., Kelby had a brilliant idea to hotel hop during our trip, so 2 out of the 3 hotels we're seeing today in this video are located in the Washington, D.C. area. Now, this first hotel is the Hyatt Regency Dulles, which is near the Dulles International Airport, and as you will see in a few moments, my room had a beautiful view of the airport, which was an upgrade that I received. Before we get into the details of the redemption, I just want to clarify now that this hotel has jumped a category since I booked my stay, so it went from a category 1 to a category 2. However, there is a Hyatt place that's about a stone throw away, which has a very similar feel and is still a category property at the time of this recording. When I booked this property, I transferred my ultimate reward points over to the World of Hyatt program, and at the time it cost me a total of 6,500 points per night. Now, I don't have the exact price of the room per night like I did with the airline ticket, but I do remember the cash price cost around $160 total with taxes and fees. Now, that price for the same time next year is over $200 since the hotel moved up a category. Anyway, with a total of around $160 for the one night I stayed at the Hyatt Regency Dulles, I was able to get a cents per point value of 2.46 cents per point. So let's take a quick look at the hotel room so that I can give you an idea of what a Category 1 hotel stay could be like. Alright guys, starting in the room, to the left we have my computer on the desk, which is directly to the left of the doorway with a painting on the wall that's okay for the price. And you have a full length mirror over here right behind, I guess, right on the right side of the door. Then we have a mini fridge and a coffee maker above the mini fridge with 2 bottles of water that were not complimentary. I actually drank one and they didn't charge me, so thankfully they didn't charge me for that. We just walked by the sofa. That is a sofa with a pull-out sofa bed, and this was the upgraded view that I got. The airport is over there to the left, and I'm zooming in to catch an airplane that is going in for a landing. When you do have a hotel room with an airport view, at least for me, I do love watching time go by watching the airplanes come in for a landing, as I'm about to see this one come in and touch down. I actually may edit that out of the video, I'm not sure, but that's pretty cool to watch. Anyway, continuing on with the room tour, swiveling back around, and I think I drew the curtains a little bit simply because it was messing up my camera a bit. But over here is a pretty large TV. I believe it's either a 55 or a 60 inch that swivels around between the bedroom and the living room. And you can see we have the king bedroom area. Now, one thing I like about this room is the amount of space that's in this room. As you can see, we had the desk area, we had the living room area, and now we have the bedroom area. And we also have another picture window, which offers another view into that airport. Now, again, I was up on the 14th floor, which was the upgrade that I was able to get at this hotel by simply requesting an upgrade. And it was just based on availability, and they did have availability. So over here, we're now walking into what would be the closet area with a sink within the little cabinet area that you'll see that has a door. There's the iron and ironing board. We do have a safe, and we have 2 drawers down below. And you can see where I stored my little carry-on bag and my backpack. Now over into the separate room here, we do have a toilet and a walk-in shower. Now overall, the ambience of this room, it's okay. I won't complain. It was a 6,500 point redemption, so it gets the job done. It's not fancy by any means, but it's very comfortable. The hotel itself was pretty quiet, and I can tell that they take pride in the hotel. They're trying to keep it up to date, and they keep it pretty clean. So all in all, I can see this room being comfortable for a family of 3 or 4, and that's about it. So with that, let's go on over and talk about the Thompson Hotel. After checking out of the Category 1 hotel, we went on over to the Thompson, Washington, D.C., which is a Category 4 hotel. Thompson is one of Hyatt's brands, so I was able to use the World of Hyatt program to book this hotel room. The total cash price to book a queen bedroom for 2 nights was about $730, and I transferred over a total of 36,000 points, as the per night rate with points was 18,000 points, which was actually during their peak season. This same room can go for as low as 12,000 points per night, so I definitely recommend planning your trip accordingly to really stretch out the value of your points. So this actually ended up being my lowest cent per point redemption on this list, as I was only able to squeeze out a cent per point value of 2.03 cents per point. And that is still pretty good value, and this actually ended up being my favorite hotel while I was in DC. And yes, I stayed at the Waldorf Astoria, and I love the opulent luxury of that hotel. However, the simple elegance of the Thompson property matched my personality and provided me with everything I needed. Without further delay, let's take a quick room tour of my queen bedroom at the Thompson, Washington, D.C. Alright guys, starting the room tour here, room 909 at the Thompson, Washington, D.C. When we walk in, you can see that this room is nice and bright, meaning there is a lot of light because it is nighttime outside. Walking into the bathroom, it is pretty sleek, pretty up to date, pretty modern. I did not like that it was just a half glass. There was no way to close the shower all the way because it did get some water on the floor, but everything was comfortable. And it's interesting that it has a little small mirror in the shower, and you can see the toilet is a little bit in a little bit of a separate area. Now walking into the room again, and this is a standard queen room. However, I was upgraded to a high floor, which was the 9th floor, as you all saw. I like this wardrobe here on the left-hand side. It's really elegant. I like all of the gold accents and the dark stained wood. And once I opened it and a light came on automatically, you can see there are 2 bathrobes on the left-hand side. It also has an ironing board on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side we have a safe, a luggage rack, 2 drawers, hangers, and those lovely bedroom slippers. They're really nice. They're black with the Thompson logo in gold. Now this queen bed was really, really comfortable. I liked it. I like the little lights on the headboard, plus the lamps above the bed itself. And then turning around, we have the mirror. I do find that circular wood piece on the mirror, like literally right there, to be a little bit odd, but it was a good full length mirror. It didn't bother me too much. I just thought that was an odd design choice. The TV on the wall is somewhere between a 55 to 60 inch from my estimate. You probably can find out on their website. Now over here is another feature of mine that's my favorite. It's this little flip down desk. You can flip it back up when it's not in use, but I have it down for the video. And then turning to the left, I do like the floating shelf feature with them supported by, it was like a leather strap that apparently held it up, but of course it's bolted onto the wall. And down in that cabinet below is a mini fridge, and you do have your coffee maker. And of course, it was a nice large window with a view of, I'm assuming this would be considered a city view, but it's nighttime now, but it was nice. Overall, I like this hotel and I 100% recommend it. Of course, you all know this one was coming, and it is the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar in the Bahamas. I visited this hotel 2 times so far and can see myself going back in the future. In fact, it is my hotel of choice when I go to the Bahamas. So this hotel actually jumped a category since my first visit, when it was a category 5 hotel, and now it's a category 6 hotel, which meant that it cost me more in points to stay at this hotel the second time around. And boy, did it cost me a whole lot more points. It actually cost me 12,000 more points per night to stay there during my second trip, partially due to staying during the peak season and partially due to the jump in hotel category. The last time I went to this hotel during the peak season, the cash price was over $1,200 per night, including taxes and fees for a double standard queen room. I stayed there for 3 nights, which would have cost a total of $3,600, but I booked with points at 29,000 points per night for a total of 87,000 points. That gave me a point redemption value of 4.14 cents per point, and I do feel like that value is super inflated because of how outrageously expensive those rooms were at the time, but it is what it is, and I would not have been able to stay there during that time if I didn't have the points to cover the cost. Anyway, let's just take a quick look at this hotel, and then I'll be back with my conclusion. All right, guys, this is the Baha Mar Queen double queen room, and as you can see, it's pretty fancy, right? We have double vanity sinks, we have a full tub, we have a toilet behind this first door on the right, as you can see, and then we have a shower behind the door on the left. And I love the white and gray marble tile. We do have this wall that opens up between the beds and the room itself. I really didn't like that at the end of the day because you can hear everything that was going on. We have the 2 beds. Don't mind my family. They're walking around. Sorry to you. I know you don't really want to be in the video, but it is what it is. And we're getting on over to what was my ocean view. Can you see it? Don't blink. You missed it. But all in all, it was a pretty good room. So yes, the Sapphire Preferred isn't perfect and it has its problems, but it allows me to get so much value with my Chase Ultimate Reward points that I have determined that I will never get rid of the Sapphire Preferred. And it doesn't hurt that I can transfer my build points over into the World of Hyatt program as well and combine them with my Ultimate Reward points to use toward Hyatt hotel stays. So altogether, with all of my hotel stays, and yes, I didn't cover my first hotel redemption at the Baha Mar Hotel, where I received approximately 26 $2,600 in value for that particular stay. I received a total value of $7,200 worth of travel redemptions. In fact, my redemptions have been so valuable with the Sapphire Preferred that I have yet to redeem any of my American Express membership reward points. Don't worry though, those points will get used toward international business class travel at some point in the future. Anyway, with all good things, there are some not so good things, and if you'd like to hear about that, please watch this video next, where I talk about some of the problems with the Sapphire Preferred.